Hello guys, today I'm going to play Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, and I'm going to actually show you how I think you should attack an enemy fort, because lately on YouTube I've seen several YouTubers attack enemy settlements and forts without any apparent tactic, and I think that's really stupid because you will take unnecessary losses, and the things they do is that they maybe just take their whole army and just rush them up enemy walls without any tactic. Or the other thing I've seen some guys do is that they take their musketeers and line them up outside the enemy walls and try to shoot the enemy down, and that's really stupid. And and also, when they line up their troops outside the enemy walls, they have like this really thick and unorganized lines of musketeers that are shooting against the enemy's position. And it's really stupid. If you're trying to shoot down the enemies from their own walls, you should at least spread out your own troops on in thin lines, so you then don't take that much casualties when the enemy shoot back at you. Anyhow, this is me attacking a enemy fort, and I have I think a little bit more than 3,000 troops, and the enemy has a little bit more than 2,000 troops. So it's we're kind of like even. Like they have the fort, and I have a little more numbers. So here's the enemy have kind of a lot of troops on the right flank. So that side you should avoid to attack. But here, what do we see here? Yeah, on the enemy's left flank they have only one unit that defends the wall. And I see that, and I take my troops and order them to move up to the enemy's, or to my left flank and the enemy's right flank. And the basics are very easy, and they are like, if the enemy are strong on the right flank, then you avoid to attack the enemies there. But if the enemies are weak on the left flank, then you attack there. But what I do here is that I leave some units left in my middle, so they kinda like hold up the enemy in their middle. Because if I would leave my middle abandoned and put all my troops on the left flank, then the enemies could take their units from their left flank and put them on the flank where I am attacking. So right now I'm kind of like making sure that the enemies can't relieve their left flank to support their other flank. You follow? Yeah. I think you do. So it's not any weird thing. It's just basic stuff. And right now I have my katanas here in the front, and they are going to right here I'm looking on the water and like, what the fuck is this? Because you see, when you zoom in, the water looks kind of good, but when you zoom out, it's kind of like you see these lines, like lines in the water, like it looks very odd and kind of weird. And I saw that. So, and you see here also, I saw this over here on the field. It's very like no details at all, and it looks very like plain and not so nice. But hey, what did you expect? It's like this map is huge, and you cannot afford to have like very good graphics everywhere. And why should you? Like, no one is going to look over there, except for me. But I rather have good graphics here in the center where things happens, and on the outsides it's okay to have like low texture things. And right here I'm using my I think catchy archers or something, yeah, archers anyway, to shoot at the enemy's musketeers. And I can't do that because my archers have 150 meters range, and the guys on the walls they have like 125, I think, or maybe it's like 100. Less than my archers. Anyway. And here I have my katanas, and I have them in loose formation so they won't take that much casualty if the enemy would yeah, shoot at them. And here the enemies have taken one of their cavalry unit and lined them up where I'm going to, yeah, where I am climbing the wall. And right here you're going to see that my katanas are taking yeah, kind of a lot damage from their horses. You see, like 10 guys was flying up in the air and down on the ground, and they died immediately. So now I think I lost, how many was it? Maybe like 30 units in one blow. So you see, I have taken one of my units and have climbed up the enemy's, the left side of the enemy wall, and now I'm taking the enemy's gate. And that's the first thing you should do, because when you have the gate, then you can move your other units in a lot more quicker and a lot more safely than you're climbing a wall. And then when I've taken the gate, I take the same unit and I take the tower. So I can use that tower to shoot at the enemy. And now when I have the first level, the enemy have actually lost a huge advantage. So just by attacking where the enemies have very little defenses, I have managed to yeah, just take away their advantage. They have one more level still, but yeah, I have basically taken their first line of defense without any casualties at all, almost. I've taken some casualties, but not very much. And now I'm just making sure to put more units inside the enemy walls. And now I've taken also the second gate. And here I move up my, I think it's my general. And that's a good thing to do, to move up your general in a siege and put your general close by your units to inspire them and rally them, and yeah, and thereby giving your troops better morale, so they fight better and so they won't rout so easily. And now I'm yeah, making sure to attack the enemy's wall as quick as possible, so they don't get time to stop me while I'm climbing the walls. Because it's when you're climbing the walls you are the most vulnerable. So if you just get some troops up the enemy wall, yeah, they are like advantage this kind of gun wall. And this I at least thought this was really cool when the enemies charged my elite infantry here, because as you see, my American troops just slaughter enemy every second. They are like cutting down several enemies, and it's really bloody, and I like that. And here I'm like taking away the HUD and zooming in to get this kind of filmy thing. But it kind of fails a couple of times. But now I kind of get it right, so to say. And as you see, the Americans have these sables, or saber, something like that. They're slashing with their swords, and that's actually how you use a saber. And you don't stab with it, as I have seen in some samurai action movies and shit. And it's like you can stab with a saber, of course, but it's not what it's made for. It's if you want to stab, you just take a regular sword, like with a saber you slash. It's what it's made for. So yeah, Shogun 2, they are I think they know what they're doing, so they wouldn't make a mistake like that, like they do in films. And here the enemies are pumping in reinforcement from their I think from their like center, or from their middle flank, where they from the beginning, in the start of the fight, were very strong, and now they're pumping them up the wall. So actually now the first thing you should do is to as quickly as possible take their the enemy flag, so you win the battle. Like there are several flags around the fort that you could take, but it's like the main flag, the flag by the fort, you should take, so you win the battle. But I'm kind of like I just want to slaughter the enemy. I'm just all into the battle, so I kind of forget to take the flag, and I mean it ends up pretty well, so it didn't do so much for me that I forgot to take the flag. But that's what I should have done, taking the flag immediately. Because if you take the flag from the enemy and win the battle, the enemies are automatically going to die. Like every one of them are going to die if you take their castle, their town, their city. And here you see the enemy have their katanas and are attacking my American troops. And now my American troops take the most casualties, because they have like fresh katanas, or now they're not so fresh anymore, but they were like a fresh reinforcement that they used on my elite infantry. So therefore I'm taking one more unit and I'm helping my left flank, so they won't completely perish. And back here I'm killing the enemy's archer horses.
The men tire, sir. They require.
And now I'm kind of like attacking the enemy's troops from two ways. From how do you say, like from up and from down. Yes.
The enemy's allies run like heathens from a preacher, sir.
Yeah, and this now I have basically won the fight, and it's no more difficult than this. You just you see here. Here the enemy had a lot of troops before, but now they took the troops from here and put them up on the high level. So therefore I could take my middle and attack their walls on my right flank. And that is how you should roll. When the enemy moves from a strategic position, then you can attack there. But do not attack the walls if the enemies are still there. Or if you can avoid that, that's great. Because sometimes the enemy have troops along the walls everywhere, and then you have no other option to attack somewhere where they have troops. But then you should attack where they have the least amount of troops. And yeah, you should never attack if the enemy are kind of strong and they have like no weak position. Then yeah, avoid attacking. It's as simple as that. If you can't take a castle without you knowing that you're going to get little losses, then don't attack. Just starve the enemy out and win the city that way. Yeah, and that's all from me, and yeah, now the battle report is coming up, and then the clip is over. And I hope you have learned something today, and bye bye.